Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation scope. The sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
On Edu Dialogue, we bring you fresh ideas and conversations, shaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get drum! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Mama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, it's a boy that's shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Blast Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weights.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers boy ever live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Jenny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Apologies for coming this late because, it's network and technical issues and everything in between. So it's just one of those days where, technical issues has to actually put us on hold for a bit, and we have to ascertain that everything is all right before we come on board to give you the latest of sports stories. Welcome to Sport Republic this morning. I'm Ikechukwu Agwago. A lot happened in the world of sport yesterday, and it's been so amazing. Vinicius Jr., they say lightning doesn't strike, I beg your pardon, in the same spot twice, but Vinicius Jr. did, and he did so remarkably as he finally dragged Real Madrid to the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. We'll also be looking at the world of boxing, where one man, Fabio Wadley, is very furious. He's talking about, the fact that Usyk is actually facing someone who he deemed not very good in terms of, his level when it comes to the world of boxing. But all this and more we'll be looking at in the world of sport this morning, and we'll definitely be starting with what really went down last night. It is the UEFA Champions League, and the playoff stage is officially concluded, and the teams that will be doing justice in the round of 16 has been finally, made their way through to that one, and then we'll be expecting, and definitely we'll definitely be getting all of this, tomorrow. All of the draws will be seen, and teams that will be squaring up in the round of 16 will also be known, and get to see how that is going to pan out. A lot is at stake in the UEFA Champions League, and Victor Osimhen also made a very good mark, made a good account of himself. He stood up right there and showed us why he's arguably the biggest star in the Turkish Super League. All this and more we'll definitely be talking about in this episode. Steps from Real Madrid, as Real Madrid finally secured a place in the last round of 16 UEFA Champions League with a 2-1 victory over Benfica in the second leg, winning 3-1 on aggregate. The spotlight was on Vini Jr., who scored the crucial goal just a week after facing alleged racial abuse in the earlier match. In front of a passionate crowd at the Santiago Bernabeu, Vinicius Jr. took the field after first leg in Lisbon, where he was reportedly racially abused by Benfica's Gianluca Cristiani, a claim that the player denied, and UEFA had imposed a provisional suspension on the player ahead of the match, although he was included in Benfica's traveling squad to Madrid, before kickoff. Real Madrid fans displayed banners in support of Vini Jr., who had previously netted the only goal in Lisbon. Two powerful messages: no to racism and respect. I mean, that's a huge one and resonated through the stadium as the players entered the pitch. Benfica struck first, leveling the aggregate score with the 1-1 from Rafa Silva in 14 minutes. However, Real Madrid quickly regained control through Aaron Tuchmani, who powered long-strain efforts to restore parity in that particular game. And decisive moments came with just 10 minutes left when Vinicius Jr. broke free and scored, sealing Real Madrid's passage to the next round of the UEFA Champions League. His celebrations were electric, dancing by the corner flank as home supporters erupted with joy. An emotional night that signified a lot and marking not just the goal, but a response to the event that took place last week. And that's all for Vini Jr. That's the man on your screen. I mean, he's a man who's been really in midst of lots of controversy, lots of drama, and still talking Champions League football. Nigeria's own Victor Osimhen secured Galatasaray's place in the round of 16 UEFA Champions League with a crucial goal in their 3-2 defeat against Juventus during the round of 32 playoff. Galatasaray entered the match with a commanding 5-2 lead from first leg in Istanbul. However, Juventus pulled off a surprising comeback, scoring 3 unanswered goals to equalize and force extra time despite being down to 10 men. In the first half of extra time, Osimhen scored to put Galatasaray back in front, but Ayab Yunis sealed the victory with a second goal for Galatasaray, just a minute before final whistle. Despite a 3-2 loss on the night, Galatasaray advanced with a 5-7 aggregate victory, marking their first progression to the UEFA Champions League round of 16. I mean, that's huge, and that's the man on your screen. You cannot, write the story of, the Turkish giant right now without, looking at this man on your screen, Victor Osimhen. He's doing a whole lot, for himself and, of course, for that particular club side. And again, still talking about football and talking about stories relating to Nigeria and Turkish football. And one man is in news, the lanky, huge Nigerian forward, Paul Onuachu, is in the radar. Yes, it's in the radar. Paul Onuachu, the Saudi Arabian Professional Football League is definitely cutting him. And the club that's looking at Paul Onuachu at this point is Al Ahly. And of course, if he expressed interest in Trabzonspor striker, the Nigerian lanky forward, according to reports, of course, Al Ahly is prepared to offer the Nigerian international a lucrative annual salary of 6 million euros, significantly higher than his current 2 million earnings as Trabzonspor. Onuachu, who joins Turkish Super League side from Southampton last summer, has been in a remarkable form, helping his team as the leading top scorer with 17 goals in 20 appearances in the Turkish Super League. And of course, Al Ahly is reportedly considering Onuachu as a replacement for England international Ivan Toney. I mean, that's the man. I mean, we also saw him right there at the AFCON. He came on, he got a goal, even though his minutes was quite very short. But then he did so well, proved that he's a very good backup for Victor Osimhen. And I mean, it's just one player who I would say is not really had it lucky for the Super Eagles team. And if you look at him, he reminds me of Nigeria's own Jonathan Akpobore. There are certain players who come to the national team, find it very difficult to actually establish themselves, but then when they go back to their club side, they become a different beast. Of course, remember this guy also was the best player in the Belgian Super League before he moved to the Premier League. And he moved to the Premier League. It was a very difficult time. He struggled and then moved back to Turkey. Right now, the same league Victor Osimhen is playing at the moment, and he's doing amazingly, superbly, well. I mean, So definitely it says a lot about the player. And of course, yes, I just got informed that my guest is in at this point. I mean, Bolarinwa, good morning and welcome to Sport Republic.
Good morning to you, Ikechukwu. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, so Bolarinwa, let's start from the very big one that happened last night. Vini Jr., Victor Osimhen. I mean, tell me exactly, what you were expecting before the game, and if these guys actually lived up to the billing.
All right, let's start with Vinny Jr. And again, just like you said at the beginning, the thunder doesn't strike 2 times, but Vinny struck twice, and he gave his, let's say, the dance that led to all of this bickering and the back and forth with UEFA. But a good game right there, good game. Real Madrid are always, when it comes to European football, they always show their class. They show that we are the ones who own this European football. We own the Champions League. And again, yesterday, even while Benfica thought to come back, having that goal, credit to Rafa Silva, credit to the Benfica team also. They had, Prestini was not going to play. And their coach also, Jose Mourinho, was not on the stand, so due to the red card. And we all saw this. But Real Madrid stood their ground and kept on fighting. And Vinicius' goal came in the 88th minute. And that's one of the deadliest times for Real Madrid. The last 10 minutes of the game, they can out you and still get the 3 points needed, and which they did yesterday, ensuring a 3-1 on aggregate win against Benfica. After the goal, Vinicius Junior did his dance, and definitely he got that goal for them, and he placed this team at a very good stance. Even if they hadn't scored, he will still be on 2-1, but he ensured he hit his name on the scoreboard and still had the dance, which is just a good one for him. He's been carrying the team. I think it's 5 goals and assists in 5 games now, and it's just been good. It's just been good.
Absolutely, and of course, Victor Osimhen. Lots of talk about him. Actually, before that particular game, he said a lot about Juventus, how much he actually respects them, and it's a side that he's not going to rule out a possible move to. That is one of those sides he looked at and said this is actually an elite team that he would definitely love to play. And then he's the man who actually puts the sword to put them to death last night in that particular encounter. Tell me about Victor Osimhen. And Juventus has been so terrible for them. The last couple of seasons they've been struggling to actually break through this round. What's going on with Juventus? And tell me about Victor Osimhen.
So let's start with Victor Osimhen, our own top striker right here in Nigeria and African football. Victor Osimhen, just like you said before the game, he said he made some comments as regards Juventus, and he credited and respected Juventus, saying they are a top team and you can't just go to Turin and expect to have a very seamless game. They will even if you're going to beat them, they will give you a run for your money, and which indeed we saw yesterday. They scored 3 unreplied goals just before in regulation time, right before Victor Osimhen scored in I think 107th minute or something. So they indeed knew what they were up to. They came back and they had it 5-5 on aggregate, and they knew that it was a crucial time. But I was listening to a post-match comments from Victor Osimhen while he was talking. He said it was just he was disappointed in the performance of his team, but then they had the fighting spirit, and we believe Victor Osimhen is one of those players who has that fighting spirit, and just like you said, he put the dagger to their chest and he laid them to rest with that goal. And Victor Osimhen is just top class where he is, and we know the class Victor Osimhen. We understand his quality.
Okay, go on.
But for Juventus, right? Again, another European championship cut short. Another exit for them. Over the years, they've been, either been out of the group stage or not even qualifying. Or, it's not like the Juventus we used to know when Ronaldo was there. Not like the Juventus we used to. We call them the Serie A giants, the likes of Inter Milan, the likes of AC Milan, and you'll be mentioning Juventus in those boxes. But then over the years, it's been downing for Juventus, and we just hope. They have good players, right? They have good players. We just hope someone will come and be maybe a Moses for them to lead them past this Red Sea that they are facing right now.
Absolutely. We just hope someone's going to become the Moses, like you said. But let's still talk about Victor Osimhen one more before we actually move on to the next story. But Victor Osimhen, at this point, he actually is the joint top 4 scorers in the UEFA Champions League this season alongside Erling Braut Haaland. And he's actually scored 13 goals, breaking Milan Barros 12 UEFA Champions League goals of Galatasaray. He's broken their record in his very first, first 2 seasons in that particular club. Tell me about, this young man, and of course, what exactly does this mean for the Nigerian forward?
So we all know what Victor Osimhen is capable of. We have seen his quality, and this it's a pride for us as Nigerians to see that our own striker is being etched in the names of top strikers globally, right? It's a pride for us, and even for the player himself, it's a result of hard work. When you are being praised alongside other strikers, it's just. Looking at Erling Haaland, right? We respect Haaland, we respect what he's doing here at Manchester City. But looking at Osimhen, you see that they play similar football, and they play similarly. But Osimhen even has more, just because of I believe the African spirit in him is even more agitated. He puts the pressure more, and it's just a good one for Osimhen, and we hope that he's just about 26, 28. Yeah. We hope that he would hit his prime, and he's in his prime already. We just hope that he will continue on this form, and also not just win the African Cup of Nations or African Player of the Year, but also each his name. He has gotten to the Ballon d'Or rankings, but we want to see him up high. We want to see him up high, win probably the FIFA Pro or something. Let's just see. That's where we want to see our players right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely what we want to see our players. But let's move away from Victor Osimhen's story to another story that concerns the Nigeria in the person of Paul Onuachu. Paul Onuachu is being courted by Al Ahly. They're looking at replacing him with, Ivan Toney, who they actually got about a couple of seasons ago. Paul Onuachu, you cannot, overemphasize 17 Turkish flight league goals. Top scorer in that particular league where Victor Osimhen also plays. And yes, it's not been the very best for the Super Eagles whenever I put on that jersey, but he's doing so well. He did it in Belgium. He's presently doing it in Turkey. Let's talk about Paul Onuachu. Are you going to? Let me put you on the spot. If you are his agent, right? Will you advise him to leave the Turkish Super League to a more lucrative in terms of the value that they are offering, because they're offering €6 million per year compared to what he's currently earning around €2 million in Turkey. Are you going to actually advise him to make the move, seeing that he's in his 30s right at this point?
All right, thank you very much. For real. Let's be honest with ourselves. Footballers play for the money, right? We would not want. Who would they be offering 2 million currently, and he's seen an offer for 6 million and would not want to accept it, right? But let's say he's in his striker's prime at the moment, 28, 30. He's in his striker's prime, right? 30. And he's 31 to be exact. 31. But if I was his agent, I would consider the Saudi offer, but then I would still pitch him up for more European clubs, right? Paul Onuachu is someone who can get the goal for you when you need it. He has the box presence. He's 6'7". He's 6'7". How many players even in the Premier League, just Bradley Watermade and of Newcastle and those that can compete in height? But he has the box presence. He has the experience. He's been to Belgium, like you said. Even now, he's if not the highest goal scorer in Turkey as it stands.
He's the top scorer, 17.
He's the top scorer in Turkey as it stands. A league where you have Osimhen also doing his thing, but you have Onuachu there becoming the top scorer. So he should show you his quality. I would not want him to go to Saudi Arabia this early. I would still want him to stay in Europe. Probably get a team in the Premier League, take them up, maybe a smaller team, right? We can look like that of Everton or the likes of Southampton. Just the teams where they would most likely need a top 9, right? And let him go there. Let him use his goals, his technical abilities, lead them forward. Then you can probably later in his later years. Okay, let's go and play for the money now and save up for the family.
You talk about later years. He's very much in the twilight of his career. He struggled at Southampton. I don't know which other smaller team you're talking about.
Yeah, I know that.
But I mean, I get your point, but let's move on to another story, and this one concerns, the ineligibility protest by the NFF as the Jamaican Football Federation has actually expressed unease over FIFA's delay in announcing a decision regarding Nigeria's protest against their opponents in the intercontinental playoff, I beg your pardon. And of course, Jamaica is set to actually face DR Congo for a chance to qualify for the World Cup later this year. However, a FIFA rules in favor of Nigeria, who protested that DR Congo fielded ineligible players in that particular game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the final in November. It could definitely mar, their chance of going to the World Cup. And Nigeria has definitely lodged a formal complaint to FIFA seeking the disqualification of DR Congo in the quest to actually represent Africa in the forthcoming playoff in March. With just 3 weeks remaining before the crucial game, the Jamaican Football Federation has raised concerns about uncertainty surrounding FIFA's ruling, while there's the prevalent belief that Nigeria's protest may not succeed. Jamaica remains apprehensive that the delay could impact their preparations for the match. And of course, this is a very, very big issue we've actually been following for a couple of months. I mean, Bolarewa, look at this issue. Tell me exactly what's going on. What do you think is responsible for FIFA's delay of this particular verdict that would definitely, decide who would go to the World Cup eventually?
All right, thank you very much. It's been coming, and it's been a long decision. It's been a very long decision for FIFA to make. Let's understand that FIFA they are not just making this decision for now. It's whatever decision they make now would also affect what's coming in the future. If a case like this happens in the future, it means they would have to rule in favor or in line with how they ruled for this decision. So it's like I said, it's under investigation, and sometimes investigations come short or long, and this one I believe is coming long. But with 3 weeks, the timeline for this game, Jamaica Football Federation have every right to call out FIFA to say we need clarity to know if we are going to play against DR Congo or not. And I believe FIFA should be getting ready to say something. We were all on our toes, I think last week or so, when they said they would be releasing the verdicts, but indeed they did not, and we can't hold them for that, right? But we just hope that FIFA would come out quickly to say something, because this game, the players, in fact, it would help both countries, either Nigeria or DR Congo, to plan forward. But as it stands, I don't think Nigeria is even ready mentally to say they want to catch up for a World Cup competition as it stands, right? Because
why do you say Nigeria? Why do you say you don't think Nigeria is mentally ready for a World Cup competition? You saw the showing of the Super Eagles. They just concluded AFCON, and I think the reason why the Jamaicans are actually worried is because they want to actually prepare for who their opponent is. They don't really know who their opponent is. So, but why did you say the Super Eagles aren't mentally ready, for the World Cup?
Let's be honest with ourselves, right? We as Nigerians already saw that Nigeria was eliminated from the World Cup process. So now, and these players also, yes, in one-on-one interviews here and there, the players would say, yes, we want to play in the World Cup. Yes, everybody wants to play in the World Cup, right? Everybody wants to play in the World Cup, and when the opportunity arises, you will want to do it. But let us critically look at our gameplay in the World Cup. Let us critically look at how we've played. The AFCON is not a judgment now. Let us look at the World Cup itself, how we played our way into the World Cup and how we got exited. Before we even got into the playoffs, it was chaos. And now in the playoffs, now you are saying I fielded ineligible player and all of those things. The all back and forth, the evidences, everything. And I just believe that's why FIFA is not coming out straight to give a very stern verdict. And just because they have to look at every angle to this thing, because whatever you decide now would affect your previous decisions and your future decisions. So it's a tight space for FIFA themselves. But we just hope it's their job to do the investigation and give us a result. But whichever way it is, even if Nigeria is going to go to the World Cup, asking you yourself, what do you think Nigeria is going to come out with?
Well, I mean, I would definitely leave that to the players who will be persecuting the game on the pitch. But the truth is, the ruling is supposed to come before the eventual intercontinental playoff, which is going to be about 3 weeks into the new month. Talking about March, that's definitely going to start about 2 days from now. But again, it's going to be a big one. And for me, I think whatever decision FIFA wants to take, whoever is going to benefit from it, I think it's going to actually do the world of football a lot of good if FIFA can actually give us their verdict early, so that every team can actually go prepare for the tournament and then come out and let's get to see a very beautiful show. And a lot of drama before this particular World Cup. I mean, we don't want other drama to actually take away the beautiful part of the game. Away from that, let's talk about what's going on right there in Italy. As former Italian coach Cesar Prandelli has recommended that Juventus pursue the signing of Sandro Tonali, Gigi Donnarumma and Riccardo Calafiori to enhance their squad for the upcoming season. In an interview with Le Gazzetta dello Sport, Prandelli actually emphasized the importance of building a more Italian core within the team. He highlighted that there is still work to be done internally before the summer transfer opens. Prandelli stated that after bolstering the squad with Kenyan Yildiz, he would focus on extending contract for Luciano Spalletti, Dusan Vlahovic and Winston Kinain if he were in charge of the club. Let's talk about Juventus. I mean, we talked about how they got knocked out and the series of terrible runs in the UEFA Champions League, and they've not also been the top team in Italy ever since they won the 5 in a row in the Serie A. Now they're actually still struggling. Former coach of the Italian national team is talking about Juve. I mean, his recommendations. Tell me about his recommendation. Is it going to be exactly what Juventus need to actually turn their season around or turn into an LI club again?
We believe players make individual differences in a team, right? And for an experienced coach like this to say if he's going to advise Juventus, they should get. Donnarumma is a very experienced goalkeeper. We see what he's doing for Manchester City at the moment. We see the saves he's making at just 27 years. Who would believe that Donnarumma is 27 with such experience under his shoulders? We see what Tonali is also doing for Newcastle right there. So, for him, he is saying bringing in the Italian mindset back into the team, right? And bringing the Italian spirit back into the team. These players are Italians, and these players understand what it means to play in Turin, right? And these players are not just they are not mid players, as we would say. They are playing for top teams. And I mean, let's be fair. Manchester City is in the Carabao Cup final, also in the chase for the Premier League, and they are also in the round of 16 for the Champions League. And we've seen how Donnarumma is being let's say an instrument to this effect, right? And same for Tonali. I think Tonali got 2 goals in their last Newcastle game. Either 1 or 2 goals in their last Newcastle
Champions League.
Yes, in the Champions League game he scored. And we've seen how these players are turning in for their teams where they are. So for a coach, for an experienced coach or mindset of that caliber to say we need players like this, I believe truly we might not be able to ascertain that these are the players that will come and change things around, but with their own quality as it stands, they can turn things around for any club in which they are in.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Still talk about club football, and this time straight to Old Trafford, as Manchester United former player, who is now a sport commentator and investor, Gary Neville, has come out to actually talk about the manager who is running the thick and thin of the Old Trafford giant right now, Michael Carrick. Of course, saying despite Michael Carrick's impressive unbeaten streak at the interim of Manchester United, former England star, who actually, I just mentioned his name, Gary Neville, yes, that man on the screen, insists that the club must continue in search for a top-tier elite manager. Carrick took over after a dismissal of Ruben Amorim in January, and has led to Man United winning 5 games in 6 Premier League games, including 1-0 victory against Everton. Discussion around Carrick's future continues, with opinions divided on whether to appoint him permanently or explore other options. Carrick said United must seek a new manager to consider their options as the future outcomes are uncertain. However, he also went on to say if he continues to actually manage Manchester United and secure the Champions League qualification, there will be a considerable support for his appointment. While I also agree to keep him on the job for a while. I also have a very great affection for him. I believe United should aim for the best manager available. Neville also pointed out that the club has already experimented with young and inexperienced managers in the last 2 appointments. He noted that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure as an ex-Manchester United player, ultimately did not succeed, urging Manchester United to minimize risk by seeking a more experienced manager. I mean, we see Michael Carrick, he came into the job and is, turned things around. In last 6 Premier League games, he's won 5, drew 1, no loss. In his very first time as the interim manager of Manchester United, he also played 4 games. He actually didn't lose anyone, which means 10 games, in a row right now for Manchester United as the manager. He's yet to actually lose a game. And of course, he's turned United back into one of those teams that is being respected apparently in the Premier League. They're very much chasing, to cement themselves in the top 4 ranks. And all of this he's done so far, but one man is not satisfied. I mean, tell me about what Gary Neville actually just said about Michael Carrick. Do you really think he still needs to actually, United needs to actually look outside for a better manager, or do you think you should be given opportunity to actually run the club at this time?
Right, thank you very much, Ikechukwu. I believe at this point in time, Michael Carrick is doing a good job for them. He's played 6 games unbeaten. He's won 5. He's drew 1. It's just reasonable enough to give the coach time and let him, at least to the end of the season, do his bits for the club, and let's see where he can lead Manchester United to. I mean, if in 6 games you've been able to take 5 maximum points and 1 additional point, it's just showing the kind of quality he is, and he has taken Manchester United from, I think, about 15 or 16 on the table, and they are now 4th on the table. So let's just keep him there. If I was the management for Manchester United, let's keep him there to the end of the season and let's see what he can produce for Manchester United. I mean, if you are number 4 on the Premier League table, you have European dreams alive again for the next season, which is something every team in the Premier League would be gunning for. I want to play European football the coming season.
So Bolarinwa, let's look at this, right? If Michael Carrick eventually takes Manchester United to the UEFA Champions League again, do you think he deserves to be given a permanent role?
Now, this will be a decision for the club, right? If he has done...
No, I'm asking you based on what you've seen, what you've seen so far. If he eventually makes it to the UEFA Champions League top 4, right, as Manchester United manager, do you think he deserves to actually be kept on the job?
If you're putting me on the spot right now to ask me about this, I would say Manchester United deserve a top-class coach with much more experience, right? Manchester United, they are a very big team. They are a very big club, and we've seen what they've done in the past. We know the kind of coaches they appoint in the past. So I would believe that Manchester United can pick from the array of options. We have a number of top-class coaches at the moment. We have Xavi is out of job for now. We have a number. Pep. There are some bickerings around Pep leaving.
But you think Pep Guardiola will leave the blue side of Manchester to the red side of Manchester?
Definitely not, right? Definitely not. But we have a number of coaches, right, that are out of jobs for now that Manchester United can pick up from.
But Bola, you talked about inexperience, and that's exactly what I want to actually latch on. We look at top managers in the world. At some point, they were given opportunity at an elite team to become what they are. Pep Guardiola, before he became manager of Barcelona in 2008-2009 season, he was actually nobody. But of course, he took on the job.
No, let's not say Pep Guardiola was nobody. I mean, he was at Dortmund and he did well.
No, Dortmund did what? What did he do at Dortmund? No, Pep Guardiola, first top European club side is Barcelona, and that's exactly what he did. Yes, he came to Barcelona. He did exactly what no one actually expected, and he blew the world by storm. He became arguably the best manager in that particular first 4 years of his career. And the whole world okay, yes, this is a manager that's good enough. Look at Mikel Arteta right now, 6 years on the job for Arsenal. He's turned Arsenal around from a team that everyone virtually mocked and to a team no one actually wants to play against. I mean, if we look at all of these, stories, we definitely want to look at Carrick. He's doing a very good job at this point. Why can't United also give him a chance if he makes it to the top 4? I
believe he should be given a chance. I am a very good I believe in giving people chances, and especially coaches, right? This is basically is barely 2 months on the job at the moment, and if he's in 2 months, he can be able to turn Manchester United around and be a team for the contention for European football next season. I believe he should be given the chance to do so. You brought in a certain Amorim from the Scottish League, and let's just say he was able to do his bit, but his bit was not enough, and he drowned the team even going into 16th, 17th. I think they finished on the 16th position. That was last season, and they started from that same position. But this certain Michael Carrick has come, and he has taken you up to the fourth position in the Premier League. So I just believe he should be given time. He should be given time.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I believe he should be given time if we can actually lead United to the Champions League. Definitely, I see. I want to hope that United will want to consider, even if it's just one season, to actually see what he can actually do after leading the guys to, the FIFA Championship. That's just my own personal opinion. Away from that, let's go straight to what happened between Chelsea and West Ham. Yes, in the Premier League, and Chelsea has officially been fined £325,000, while West Ham has been received £300,000 penalty following a mass confrontation between players during the Premier League match in January, as reported by multiple sources. The incident at Stamford Bridge actually began when Chelsea forward João Pedro reacted to a shove from West Ham winger Adama Traore on Blues defenders Marc Cucurella during stoppage time. This led to a chaotic scene involving both teams, culminating in a lengthy video assistant referee review. Hamas defender Jamie Claire Todibo was subsequently shown a straight red by referee Anthony Taylor for grabbing João Pedro by the neck. The Football Association stated it was alleged that Chelsea FC failed to actually ensure its players behave in an improper, provocative manner around 95th minute. Similarly, it was alleged that West Ham United did not control their players' behavior adequately during the incident. Both clubs have admitted to the charge against them. An independent regulatory commission imposed fines taking into account prior breaches of FA Rule E20 subsection 1, which prohibited players deemed improper, offensive, violent, threatening, abusive, indecent, insulting, or provocative. I mean, we saw that messy scene right there, when Chelsea actually played against West Ham, and this is one of those very sad incidents you get to see, in the world of football. I mean, Balano, before I let you go, tell me about this particular incident. If it's the fine, if it's in accord with exactly what these guys actually did, or do you really see it as a slap in the wrist, considering that Chelsea is an allied club in the Premier League?
No. I believe every indecency and every mistake you make. Right, this is not even a mistake. This is something as football players. If football is a game of emotions, right? But you don't, as professional players, that's what makes you professional. That you are different from amateur players, right? Yeah, you are being professional on the job. You shouldn't be caught in the sins of holding a fellow player on the truth, like you're literally holding a fellow player and vice versa to the Chelsea players also. Creating a scene. Yes. It's we would say a derby, or we would say you both are facing a very stern match, right? But you shouldn't be caught in the anvil of saying fighting on the pitch or stuff like that. Even if your emotions get over you, but you should be able to curtail as a team and as professionals that you are. You should be able to curtail yourselves. And I don't believe this is a case of probably Chelsea's an elite football team. Both teams have tasted European football, and both teams should be called should be termed elite. They are playing in the top division of the Premier League, so both teams are elite as it stands. So the fines for me are
in accord.
They're in accord. All right,
thank you very much, David Bolarima, for being part of Sports Republic this morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you again for having me.
All right, so on that note, definitely we're moving away from football stories to non-football stories. I will be starting with basketball, as the Tigers head coach, Reina Wakama, has unveiled a provisional squad of 17 players in preparation for FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualification tournament, scheduled to take place from March 11 to 17, 2026 in Lyon, France. The reigning African champions, the Tigers, will compete against France, Germany, South Korea, Colombia, and Philippines during the qualifiers. The squad is led by star Ami Okonkwo, Sarah Ogoke, Promise Amukamara, and Ezinne Kalu. It also features young talents including Pius Biggie, Idubano, Adenike Olawi, Grace Efosa, Rita Ibokwe, Wando Hamba, and Tewo Gbade Moluwa. Of course, the Tigers will begin their qualification campaign against Colombia on March 11, followed by matches against South Korea on March 12, the Philippines on March 14, France on March 15, and Germany on March 17. The top 3 teams from the group will progress to the next round. Having secured their spot in 2026 FIFA World Cup in Berlin, Germany, set for September 4 to 13 by winning 2025 Women Afro Basketball title, the Tigers will use the upcoming qualifiers as essential preparation for the World Cup. And of course, it's going to be a huge one. And it's going to be one of those, games the entire nation will be holding their breath for. Of course, these girls has done so well. They won the Afro Basket 3 times in a row. And they also are one of the recipients of the $100,000 that the president will actually share, at some point. Away from that, let's go straight to shot put, where one Nigerian is doing us proud. His name is Chukwuebuka Enekwechi, continues a strong performance on the world indoor court, finishing second in men's shot put event in Czech Republic, according to Making of Champions. The African record holder achieved a throw of 21.20 meters on the first attempt, slightly improving upon his 5th attempt of 21.19 meters. Italy's Leandro Fabri secured the victory with a throw of 20.80 meters, while Jamaica's Rajinda Cambry actually took 3rd place with distance of 20.15 meters. Of course, this marked Ekwechi's 7th competitive second place of the season. Of course, his best throw till date. And of course, this is exactly, what I've been talking about. It's all about, getting, consistent and then improving as a player. Away from that, let's go straight to tennis, as Katie Botta actually notched her 7th consecutive victory on the WTA Tour, as Camila Osorio retired from the match at Merida Open after losing the first set. The British number 3 actually arrived in Mexico following her triumph at Ostrava Open and managed to overcome early serving issues to defeat Beatrice Haddad Maia in the first round. The Botta actually secured the first 6-3 before Osorio called for a physio and ultimately chose not to continue the match. The victory allows Botta to progress to the quarterfinals, where she will face top seed Jamaican Paulini or Australia's Priscilla Horn. In her outdoor interview when the game actually finished, Botta actually expressed concerns for her opponent, saying that we definitely do not want to see injuries. It's been difficult recently. I know how difficult it can be. She added, I really enjoy playing in front of a crowd, and it's nice to have everyone here supporting the tournament. I'm just happy to be out here and playing more matches. In the related note, in that particular tournament, Britain's Fran Jones actually faced a first-round exit at the ATX Open in Austin, losing to Peyton Stearns in a hard-fought match after initially winning the first set. And away from that, let's go straight to boxing, as Fabio Wadley, who I talked about earlier, has expressed disappointment over Alexander Usic's choice not to fight him, hoping for a future matchup with the unified champion. He criticized the prospect of Usyk facing heavyweight kickboxing star Rio Verhoeven, deeming it not true, not a genuine challenge. Usyk, also a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion, has not fought since his knockout victory over Daniel Dubois in Wembley last year. Verhoeven, actually regarded as the top heavyweight kickboxer in the world, vacated his title after an impressive reign that began in 2013. Wadley, who became the WBO heavyweight world champion after Usyk vacated the title, had aspired to face Usyk. He's geared up for a title defense against Daniel Dubois on March 9 in Manchester, with winner possibly facing Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk for a chance to unify the heavyweight title. Though he acknowledged Usyk's right to choose his fight, Wadley believes the Ukrainian should prioritize boxing opponents like himself rather than crossing over to match against a kickboxer. Looking ahead, Wadley remains determined to seek best competition available in the heavyweight division, indicating a strong desire to feature in a bout against Alexander Usyk very, very soon. And of course, on that note, we'll be wrapping up this episode of Sport Republic this morning, and it's been a very good day. I hope that definitely you'll be part of the show tomorrow, as Kizzy will be here to take us around the world of sport. And do not also forget to join the guys, Afis and Jerry, I beg your pardon, on Locker Room later this evening. And up next is the midday news with David Edwin. have a sporty day ahead.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
When you say, make Nigeria no happen to you, me self go say, make you